Joining me now, Republican Governor of Ohio, John Kasich. Governor, welcome back to Meet the Press, sir.
Thanks, Chuck. Always good to be with you.
Weekend story in the New York Times says that former Governor Mitt Romney, the former nominee in 2012, reached out to you to sort of take your temperature about dropping out. What can you tell me about that conversation?
Nobody's asked me to drop out, and that wouldn't matter to me anyway. I don't really want to get into private conversations with people, but that never happened in terms of Mitt trying to tell me, what I need to do with my career. That's not what it was about. And I've had a number of conversations with him and a lot of email exchanges, and you just have to leave it there.
Obviously, a lot of folks are putting you're seeing the public pressure, putting pressure on you, saying you're standing in the way of consolidating the anti-Trump vote. What do you say to those folks?
Well, first of all, I'm beating Hillary Clinton by more than any other candidate, and I'm going to win Ohio, and that's what creates a whole new race. Now, at the end of the day, each of these candidates should be able to win their own home state. I'm going to win Ohio, but if I don't win Ohio, then, ball game over. But you have to win your own home state, in my opinion, in order to continue forward. And look, our strategy has always been to do well in New Hampshire, raise enough money to continue, hold our own. We don't expect to win. Trump's going to win everything, in my opinion, on Tuesday. But at some point, this thing goes north. And when it goes north, and when we get to Ohio, it's going to be a whole new game. Now, I'm getting more pressure from people who are begging me, please don't get out of this race. And, I'm going to be the nominee, Chuck. And,
well, Governor, there's only two paths. There's only two paths.
Really?
There is Donald Trump wins this nomination before the convention, or your only shot is at the convention. Marco Rubio's only shot.
That's not true.
The math is the math, Governor.
Yeah, but look, the math is we believe that we get into Ohio, we do well there, and that we'll be able to hold our own and become the nominee.
But but the only way to do that is to get the nomination at the convention. You're not going to be able to get enough delegates before then.
Well, I don't know that that's true. I'm not buying into that. Our folks, look, we have a campaign plan, and we've been campaigning our plan. You draft up a campaign plan, and then you carry it out. And we're very comfortable with where we are, and there are more and more people signing on. There are more people who are raising money for us, and I'm very comfortable with where we are. And let me say a couple other things, Chuck. When people are going to reflect back on this race, you know what they tell me? You're the only adult in the room. I've had the experience both domestically in terms of helping to create an environment for job creation. I've had the experience in foreign affairs. I think all that was reflected in the last debate. And we're not picking class president here. We're picking the president of the United States. And frankly, I was at a very big rally today, not a rally, but a town hall, about 1,000 people here in Tennessee. And when I said, I think we're all getting tired of what the heck is happening, and we need to have an adult, I got a standing ovation from everybody in that room, many of whom came just undecided. So I think we're playing for very high stakes here when we're playing for who's going to be the leader of the United States of America and the leader of the free world.
But Governor, what you're trying to do with your strategy is essentially you're saying you played in one state in New Hampshire, you're conceding that you're going to lose every state on Tuesday, and you're essentially playing a New Hampshire, Michigan, Ohio strategy in the midst of 16 other contests that have been held in that same period that you're not really contesting at all. Well, that's not a path to the nomination,
sir. Chuck, you can have your opinion, and we have our opinions, to be honest with you.
Fair enough.
And the fact is, there's like 56 primaries. Now, let's talk about this. When I got in July, or first of all, most people didn't think I'd get in. Then they didn't think I would get in the debate. And then they didn't think I would get to New Hampshire, and I did it. And then they said, oh, well, he'll get like 1% in South Carolina. Well, that was wrong. We did much better than that. I have not had the big name ID because, frankly, I think a lot of people have focused on those people who are, like out here yelling and screaming and all that. But people are increasingly getting to know me, to hear my message, and I can tell you about the intensity of the voters who I meet.
Right.
Now, there are Washington insiders who I fought 25 years ago to balance the budget. I stepped on toes to reform the Pentagon and fought with defense contractors. Some of those are the same voices, but you don't think for a second those people affect my decision? We're going to move forward because I think this country needs to have a person who can lead the country and solve problems.
The leader of the Senate Republicans called your path to the nomination irrational. Mitch McConnell. What do you say to him?
Well, he's the leader of the Senate. I just have to disagree with him. And, you know, I may probably end up having to work with him. So it's just better that look, he has his opinion and I have mine. It doesn't even bother me, doesn't even turn my head, Chuck. Look, people all of my political career have tried to underestimate me. Washington types have never been comfortable with me. You know, people tried to put me in the establishment lane in the beginning of this. I'm not in the establishment lane. I don't dislike the establishment, but I'm a change agent. Let me also tell you, I'm the last governor standing with an actual record. And you know what a lot of people say? Keep going. That's why we're raising more money. That's why we're getting more support. So look, the fact that some folks in Washington, say, he should stop, well, I appreciate their opinion, but I don't agree with it, and it doesn't affect me.
Now, I know you reached out to Governor Chris Christie. You were hoping to win over his endorsement. You said you were disappointed you didn't get it. Are you surprised that a fellow governor went with somebody that has no experience at all?
Well, look, I think it's always tough in a campaign when, you have hopes and dreams and it doesn't work. And I think it's difficult. I left Chris a message after he did announce that he was dropping out. Some of my people wanted me to call him and ask for his endorsement. I said, I'm not doing that. He's competed hard. His family was all in. And you got to give a guy like that some space. Yeah, I would have liked to have had his endorsement, but he chose to go another way, and that's okay with me too. Those are not the things that matter at the end of the day. The reason why I did so well in New Hampshire is because we had the ground game. We had the grassroots. I've always run my campaigns based on strength from the grassroots, not top down, but bottom up. And look, God bless Chris, Mary Pat, his wife. I mean, they're fine people, the kids. He just went a different direction. That's okay. We'll be back together again.
If Donald Trump, if the Republican voters give him the nomination, you're going to support Donald Trump as a Republican nominee for president?
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves, Chuck, but what I will tell you is I think everybody who's fought their way to this point through this contest is going to deserve the support of that person who emerges. That's the way I feel about it. And,
so you'll support whoever the Republican nominee is, period.
I just answered your question. And so the fact is that I believe I'll be the nominee, and we're going to give it our level best to get there. But anybody who's in the arena deserves the respect of people who are in the arena. And let me say, there are a lot of people never get in the arena, and they seem to have a lot of opinions. God bless you. Go into the arena sometime, see what it feels like, battle it out, and then after you do that, give me a call sometime.
Do you feel like Donald Trump is respecting the voters in this process, is respecting his other opponents in this process?
Look, I'm not getting into, Donald Trump. Some people have decided to get into a name-calling contest with Donald Trump. You know how you beat Donald Trump? You have a record, you show your accomplishments, and you tell people about your vision. That's the way in which you beat somebody. The idea that you get into personal mudslinging is something that I'm not going to do. You know why? Because I like to raise the bar in politics, and I want people who have been so strongly for me to be proud of me, and to be able to have a good, positive message. And you know what? You know how you get to the top of Mount Everest, Chuck? You put one foot in front of the other, and that's exactly what we're doing in this race.
In the one state where you were able to go toe-to-toe with Trump, outwork him on the grassroots, you lost 2-1.
Yeah, I understand that. And you know why? Because people are very, very upset. They're worried about their wages, they're worried about their job security, their kids are living in the house after they got a college education. I grew up in an environment where people were upset. But at the end of the day, Chuck, people will decide, in my opinion, accomplishments, experience, not some status quo person, but somebody who can run the country. And I'm confident in the American people. I think at the end of the day, they'll make their decisions, and I'll respect it.
All right. Well, it sounds like we're going to see you at least till Ohio, sir.
I would count on it, Chuck. God bless you, and tell everybody thanks for their help, support. And for those that don't understand that, we'll be back together some point. No harm, no foul.
All right, Governor Kasich. Good luck on Tuesday. Stay safe on the trail, sir. You got it. Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and then click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.